July the 24th, 1998. Bizarre and horrific murders have occurred in the Arkley Mountains in the Midwestern town of Raccoon City. The victims were apparently eaten. Stars, a elite subdivision of the Raccoon City Police Department, are sent to investigate the cannibalistic murders. Stars Bravo team becomes MIA, which leads to Stars Alpha team's investigation of their disappearance in Raccoon Forest, where they are savagely attacked by vicious mutant dogs. After an heroic act of desperation, the remaining Stars members attempt to seek refuge and salvation in the Spencer Estate mansion, where they would bite off more than they could chew. Ladies and gentlemen, will now enter the world of with its iconic, memorable moments. Its diabolical dialogue more cheesier than a dubbed Italian horror film.
Whoa! What is it?
What? Oh! Oh no!
Its unique gameplay mechanics. Its dynamic diversity in the monster designs. Zombies, Cerberuses, and hunters. Oh my! And we cannot forget about the Tyrant, or as I would like to call him, the Tyrant.
Why the fuck does Raccoon City value tea taste like Arklay Mountains herbs smothered in sewerage? I may as well drink Hunter's piss.
The Tyrant.
Can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
Do you think we should send him some flowers? No, I'm afraid it's beyond flowers.
All of these elements forever changed the perception of how a video game looked, felt, and played. And it also set the benchmark for horror video games.
Get me out of here quick before I shit my pants! Too late! Get me out of here! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Get me out of here quick! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Get me out of here! Get me out of here quick! Get me out of here quick! Get me out of here quick! Oh God! Oh God!
At the beginning of the game, you are given a choice of two playable protagonists.
Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield.
Each character has their own particular set of skills. Jill Valentine's being a phenomenal sandwich maker, the master of unlocking, and a proficient piano player. while Chris Redfield's particular set of skills are witty wisecracks.
Yeah, so much for him. We got to the root of the problem.
And he looks mean, and he's got big muscles thanks to anabolic steroids, and he can destroy boulders with his fucking mind, and he's defeated Barry Burton and Albert Wesker in a big dick competition.
Get on with it!
Despite a few minor differences in the characters' gameplay mechanics and skill sets, the plot of the game remains the same. You investigate the Spencer Estate mansion, which holds a terrifying secret. With more turns and twists than a chubby checker record, Resident Evil manages to capture the danger, the dread, and despair of a horror movie. However, there are two major differences in the characters' scenarios. The side character that you interact with through various stages of the game, and who you save at the end of the game to trigger the good ending. As Chris Redfield, you are given Rebecca Chambers, a rookie and the newest recruit to the Bravo team, who is a marvellous medic that can treat all your wounds, a brilliant biochemist, and very good at spraying handspray in people's faces, and could easily give Jill Valentine a run for her money on the piano. While Jill Valentine gets the legendary Barry Burton. Oh yes, Barry Burton, the meme machine himself. Whoa, don't talk to me about memes, I'm the meme motherfucking master. I have talked about the cheesy dialogue earlier on in the video, but nobody, and I mean nobody, embodies the cheesy dialogue more than Mr. Burton.
What? What is this? I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know. Whoa! This hall is dangerous.
Jill, have you found anything interesting? What a monster! I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Developed by Capcom, Resident Evil was released in Japan on the 22nd of March 1996, in North America on the 30th of March 1996, and in Europe on the 1st of August 1996. Not only would Resident Evil reignite the flame for the zombie genre, Resident Evil would go on to popularise and define the survival horror video game, and would spawn a remake, several spoofs, and a franchise that is cherished and still remains iconic over 25 years later.
Hello, I'm Ronnie the Randy Robot, and after nearly 13 minutes of rambling, SynthJohn needs a tea. Rate a nice cup of tea.
Hello everyone, welcome to SynthJohn's Retro Ramble, where I put the ramble to the retro. And this is the part of the episode where I reminisce, get that nostalgia feeling, like acupuncture, pins and needles, as I talk about Resident Evil. So yeah, Resident Evil. So Resident Evil came out in the UK, Europe, the summer of 96. And it was probably my first real memory and experience of horror. Now, I don't know if we had this on the first day of release or it was around Christmas time, because the reason I say that is because my nan was down, my dad's mother, and she loved the game. She really loved the game. She would, you know, this is, now I'm going to sound like a dinosaur now, but during the war, there were no cell phones, no mobile phones, no social media, no nothing. If you had to have a shit, you had to have it in a tent, in your garden, you know, during the war. So she would randomly come down, and I'll tap on the door, 2 taps, sometimes one tap, sometimes 2 taps, very soft tap, and she'd come in bearing gifts, and she was like, wow, this was her first experience of a game, and she was like, said, wow, this game is... I'm going to risk the risk of sounding like Barry Burton. She went, wow, this game is brilliant. Yeah, she loved the game, bless her. Yeah, so I don't know if it was summertime or Christmas time, 96, but I know for a fact that we definitely had this game in the year of its release, for sure. And I think this game shaped my perception and taste in horror. You know, across every genre, whether it was film, books, or video games. You know, it really did shape my perception and taste in horror, for sure. And I always remember the intro being absolutely petrified of the surpluses. Absolutely petrified. It was like one of those 1970s Doctor Who moments. You know, when Doctor Who was really, you know, 70s Doctor Who is fucking hardcore, you know. You know, a lot of the stories weren't for kids, really. You know, stuff like Terror of the Autons, where, you know, one of the characters in it gets suffocated by a plastic chair, and you know, and Brain and Morbius with the man when Kondo was like a Frankenstein like character. He gets shot and blood. You see the blood pour out of him, and a deadly assassin where the doctor nearly gets drowned. Oh man, it was one of those. It was like one of those 70s Doctor Who horror moments, you know, seeing the surpluses, you know, completely devour fucking Joseph. I mean, it was fucking, to me, fucking scary as fuck as a 6-year-old. I mean, you look at the intro now, and you know, it's very campy. It is very campy, but I think the intro really set the tone for the game. Yes, there's campy moments in it, but I think there is some really intense, scary moments in the game as well. And I honestly believe that Capcom were going for the early 80s Italian horror and late 1980s American horror vibe. It definitely has a lot of tropes from Italian horror, especially the dialogue. I mean, the fucking dialogue. Fucking hell. Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life. In fact, I'm so grateful. Would you like to follow me to the dining room and I'll suck you off?
Oh, I appreciate the offer, Jill, but my little cult python is shooting blanks from all those endless wanks. Whoa.
The stars are doomed. One of us identifies as a transvestite transformer. Everything was plotted from the start by Rihanna's umbrella. Ella. The dialogue. You know, the dialogue is something like something out of Italian horror, you know. House by the cemetery. Oh my fucking god, Bob, when he's locked in that basement with Dr. Freudstein, he's like, Mummy, let me out of the basement, it's dangerous, Mummy, help me, Mummy. 10 hours later, Mummy, dangerous, Mummy, basement, Mummy. You think, oh my god. And zombie creeping flesh, oh my god.
Just look at those faces. They look like monsters.
They could be drunk.
Watch out! It's a monster!
Honestly, I honestly think Capcom were watching a lot of those Italian horror films and going, "Oh, that's a fucking diabolically shit line. Let's put that in there." You know, absolutely the dialogue. Oh my god! But I honestly think that the delivery of the dialogue is absolutely done with a sense of irony, particularly from the voice actor for Barry Burton. Like, the voice actor nearly cracks up when he says, "That was too close. You're almost a Jill sandwich." I mean, if I'd been paid to be a voice actor in this game, I probably can't put up more than Kenneth Williams. I really would. I'd be like, yes, Tyrant, Albert Wesker, take me away, yeah, you know, really, really campy. It's like, and if a hunter claws me, stop messing about. Oh god, the dialogue, yeah, oh man, fucking terrible. But I do think the dialogue, as bad as some of it is, it just adds to the charm of the game, you know? I mean, obviously the dialogue got a lot better in later installments of the Resident Evil franchise, but nothing beats, you know, the original voice acting. You know, it's just absolutely brilliantly bad. You know, it really is. But that being said, I think Resident Evil, I mean, it's over 25 years now since this game was released. And I think, for me personally, it still retains its atmosphere. I think it really does. Yes, horror video games have come a long way since 1996. You know, there's more intense games. There's better voice acted horror games. You know, there's better control games. You know, but this was one of the first ones, though. You know, it actually felt up until that point in 1996, there was no game like this game. It actually felt you were playing an actual horror film. It really did. It definitely, the feel and the unique gameplay mechanics. You know, the inventory. You know, the micromanagement element is so unique. You know, you see that gameplay mechanic in games like Theme Hospital. You know, micromanagement and. What weapon do I need now? You know, what key do I need now? It really did make you think. You know, it did. You know, what with the different variety of monsters, you know, the micromanagement, the inventory spaces. You know, it did bring. It did give name to survival horror. You know, it really did. I mean, it wasn't the first horror game. It wasn't the first horror game because there's a fact that I only just knew about, which really interested me, was that this game was going to be a full-on remake of Sweet Home, the SNES game. from the late 80s, which is based on a Japanese horror film, which blew my mind. I need to watch that. It's on YouTube. Sweet Home's on YouTube, the film, and of course there's many playthroughs of Sweet Home as well. And I was really intrigued. I don't know if I've got that on my SNES. If I haven't, I might have to download it, because it looks really. You can see a lot of the elements of Sweet Home in this game. You know, particularly like the finding keys and it's a lot of puzzles, and it would have been interesting if Resident Evil was an RPG, like a cross between Final Fantasy and Paradise Eve. I mean, Paradise Eve is a very unique horror game, particularly the RPG elements of it. I mean, that's a story for another. Don't want to go too ahead. You know, it's almost like my bipolar. You go on fucking tangents for hours on end, naked in a gas mask. Shh! I just told you one of my secrets. Shh! Don't tell the funny fam. Shh! But yeah, Sweet Home. Yeah, I mean, that's a game I'd like to play. You know, I mean, sometimes I like to do analogies. Sometimes I like to do analogies in a musical context for some reason. So if Sweet Home is the first Stooges album of video gaming, then this game is the Nevermind the Bollocks of horror video games. It's not the first horror game, but it popularised the survival horror genre and spawned an incredible franchise of games and films and books and comics. And you know, I think, you know, if it wasn't for this game, they wouldn't be the zombie genre wouldn't have survived, because particularly in that period of late 80s, early 90s, I find the horror genre was for me personally was on a rapid decline. It was like stylistically, it had gone. A lot of the films had gone back to that like 60s campness. Like, because I watched a film recently, which I got on Blu-ray, called Dead Time Stories, and it's so campy, it's unbelievable. You know, they're not scary at all. A lot of the films from that time period, like House. I mean, House is a great horror film, but it's not scary. It's just ridiculously campy, but fun. And the zombie genre in that time period of late 80s, early 90s, it was on a decline. The slasher boom had gone. I mean, there were still slasher films being made, but a lot of the slasher films were sequels to Friday the 13th and Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, and that was on a decline as well. And it seems like a weird coincidence that Scream and this game came out in the same year, 1996, because Scream, you know, I'm going to compare Scream and Resident Evil, but Scream rejuvenated the slasher genre and well, arguably the horror genre, and sort of made horror hip and cool again. You know, because after Scream, you had, you know, you've got stuff like I Know What You Did Last Summer, you know, and it spawned a lot of, and he did spawn a lot of remakes of slasher films, and Resident, and you know, they both came in the same, they both were released the same year, Scream, Resident Evil, and both of them are very important influences on horror. You know, what Scream did for the slasher genre, this you know, what Scream did for the slasher genre, Resident Evil did for the zombie genre, because on for this game, you wouldn't have The Walking Dead. You wouldn't have Shaun of the Dead. All right, Shaun of the Dead is a homage to George A. Romero. However, Simon Pegg, being from, you know, one of the first gaming generations, because I find that Gen X was the first generation that really took computer games, and they were the first generation to be immersed in that gaming culture. Because I find boomers, although a lot of the old consoles were made by boomers, like the Atari and the Commodore 64, gaming became very popular in the 80s, where a lot of the Gen X's were growing up as teenagers or kids. You know, I think they were the first generation to be immersed in that gaming culture. So Simon Pegg, you know, a horror, you know, film geek fanatic, you know, Resident Evil was in his, you know, when he made Shaun of the Dead, Resident Evil was definitely in his, influential mind frame, because it was spoofed in Spaced, you know, the old 90s sitcom, which I haven't seen for years. I'd love to see that again. I haven't seen that. I think the last time I watched Spaced was, it's gotta be about 21 years ago. Gotta be, because I can't remember when it finished. I think it started 95 and finished 2000. I might be wrong there. But I do remember watching, and I remember seeing the Resident Evil spoof in it for bloody amazing. So yeah, you know, they wouldn't be Shaun of the Dead, and the zombie genre it's gone through a lot of ups and downs since '96, but it's always remained in the popular culture consciousness. You know, it always will, you know, definitely, you know, and it's, you know, such an influential game, you know, really is. Absolutely, you know. Yeah, I talked about the dialogue. I mean, the game. You know, I love the game. I love the gameplay. Yeah, it's tank controls, but it's still playable. Honestly, it's still a playable game. It really is. I mean, graphically, you know, it's going to be a relic of its time, but it's still such a playable game, and it's like I said earlier, it still retains that atmosphere. You know, every time I play it, I always still get, after all these years, I still get that same feeling of dread. All right, there's not many jump scares. It's not your modern horror where there's a jump scare every minute, which I find quite frustrating with a lot of modern horror. Not so much video games, more films. Because I remember watching the new It from 2017, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it because there was too many jump scares, you know. It's like Vince Russo, if you know, the wrestling writer, if you know wrestling. He would have so many swerves from people going from babyface to heel, it become predictable. It's like that. There's so many jump scares that it becomes predictable. You think, oh, I knew there was going to be a jump scare by there. And that's a problem I have with a lot of modern horror films. But with this, There are some really intense moments, but they're memorable though. You know, the first zombie you encounter in this game, I mean, it's become so iconic. It's unbelievable. You know, that zombie, that first zombie is probably the most influential. Well, with the exception of the Dawn of the Dead cover zombie, the first zombie you encounter in this game is probably the most iconic zombie in history. You know, the way it's just unbelievable, unbelievable. And I've seen the uncut version of that scene where he rips Kenneth apart, Kenneth apart from head to toe into bone. It's unbelievable, the uncut version. And it's weird because normally Japanese are normally ones for being are known for their censorship, but the European version of this was cut. It's very odd, you know. So it's weird, isn't it? It's like oh, we can show him ripping him up from head to toe to bone, but we can't show a head. We can't show a head plop onto the floor like a turd in a toilet. No. We can't show the head. It's very weird censoring. So you're showing him getting ripped apart, but you can't show the head plop going onto the floor, popping onto the floor. Weird video game censorship and films. Very weird. And the intro, the uncut version of that, unbelievable it is. It's unbelievable. It's much gorier, much gorier. So yeah, I'll just have a quick drink. So yeah, there's a lot of iconic moments in this. I think my nan, I'm trying to remember what. I think she got spooked. If I remember correctly, I think she got spooked by the dogs smashing through the window, because that's another great moment. I think the best moment in this game is the first appearance of the hunter, when you return back to the mansion. I don't know. It's very rare for me. It's very reminiscent of that very hyper fast point of view of Evil Dead. It just reminds me of that. I still get ghost pimples every time I get to that part with the hunter, the first appearance. It's just unbelievable. Oh man, the hunters, oh god. The fucking geckos on steroids. And the T-Rant. Oh, the T-Rant. With the, well, I call him T-Rant. I don't call him Tyrant, I call him T-Rant. T-Rant because he likes to rant about tea. He's like, go blimey, oh, go blimey, Tetley, oh, fucking awful. PG tips, may as well drink monkey piss. Oh, why am I doing a Cockney accent, go blimey. You know, oh, man, the Tyrant, the T-Rant. Yeah, the T-Rant. The T-Rant likes to get down and boogie in the Raccoon Rover nightclub.
Oh, shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
Yeah, such memorable moments in this game. You know, there's not a lot of jump. It's not a lot of jump scares, but it's still. But like I said earlier, it does retain its atmosphere, and it still gives you that sense of dread, even though you know what's going to happen. It still gives you that sense of dread. Just little things like a zombie on the floor. You think, no, he's not dead. Well, he's undead, and you think he's going to grab my leg and give me a blowjob. Well, I hope not.
Well, you know what I mean, don't you? You know, great variety of monsters. Yeah, it's got a great variety of monsters in this game. Spiders never... Spiders now, they used to bother me a lot more when I was younger. Not so much now, I don't know. It's slugs that fucking bother me. Like, imagine a giant slug in this. Oh my god. Got a giant snake though. Looks like the giant snake looks like a giant phallus symbol. Phallus sculpture. Big. He looks like a big giant green phallus sculpture. That's what he looks like. Don't touch that. It's important work of art. I'll tell you to break into people's houses. You're absolutely right, yeah, sir. Shut your bleeding hole. Yeah, shut up, John. Get on with it. So yeah, great variety of monsters in this. You know, it's still, yeah, like I said, it still gives you. Yeah, I mean each I think each area of the game has its own atmosphere. You know, you got the mansion. Mansion's pretty creepy. Very, very creepy. The underground. I don't find the underground. I don't find the underground creepy. I just find it. I don't know. I just find it annoying with a lot of the hunters down there. Yeah, I'm gonna have another drink. And of course, the puzzles can be a bit. I mean, the puzzles would get a lot more annoying in later games, especially Code Veronica, bloody hell. But the puzzles in this, there's only. I would say there's only one puzzle, really. I mean, a lot of the puzzles in this, you just got to push things into a certain position, like the Wonder Woman room, where you got to push like the night statues onto the holes where the gas is to get the crest, and then of course the laboratory, the labs where you have to move the boxes to get into the MO disc room. I mean, other than that, there's only one puzzle, the picture room. Other than that, there isn't much puzzle. It's only like later games like Resident Evil 3 with the clock tower puzzle and Code Veronica. Code Veronica, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but Code Veronica had probably the most annoying puzzles. The one puzzle with the picture. Couldn't find the painting for fucking hours. And the painting was in one of the save rooms. I'm like, I was like, you what? You what? A painting in the safe room, love? Painting in the safe room, love? What, you what, love? What? Fucking absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. But the puzzles in this are not too bad. Not too bad at all. What else? The soundtrack is really good. You know, the soundtrack is really good. You know, the soundtrack. You know, it's soundtracks by the mid-90s. They had really radically changed. Like a lot of the soundtracks felt like they could be in movies. Like, you know, it was the soundtrack to Resident Evil. You know, was hell of a difference. I mean, the graphics as well was a hell of a radical change from 8-bit and 16-bit. Hell of a change. The soundtrack, the sound, and the sound effects as well. I forgot about the soundtrack. You know, the zombie. The way the zombie would move, like really, it's like their legs were so cranky
that they could snap in half because they were so because their bodies decayed so much. It was the soundtracks, the soundtrack and the sound effects. You know, amazing sound effects. You know, and opening the doors and going down the steps. You know, just those little bits of you just opening a door and going down steps in first person. That it was really added to the creepiness as well, because it was nothing like that in games before. There's just so many different elements to this game, you know, that make it so, you know, so well loved. You know, whether it's the cheesy, memorable dialogue, the soundtrack, you know, the unique micromanagement of infantry spaces. You know, it was just amazing. You know, that save room soundtrack, the save room music track. There's a very very somber yet soft tone to it. I mean, you could imagine that playing as a lullaby to get. You can imagine that playing as a Japanese lullaby to get a baby to sleep. Japanese baby to sleep. It has that feel, and it gives you that, and it gives you that sense of. Even though it gives you a sense of anxiety, it does give you a sense of comfort that you're safe. You know, you're safe in that room. You know, you're safe to, you know, recharge yourself and drop items off, you know, and save your game. But at the same time, you've got that anxiety. Or when you open that door, that save room door, and you exit, that sense of safety is gone again, and you got that dread back then. It's just stuff like that is what makes the game for me. Just those little elements, you know, such a great game. And I've seen many playthroughs of that game, but nobody beats Necroscope 86.
My, aren't you a handsome fella? You seem to have ketchup all around your mouth. Let's get the key. You mother flumper! Carving up zombies. Whoa, we getting pissed on? Oh, hello you. Sorry, did we interrupt your shower? You bloody needed it, your hygiene's terrible. You've got pieces of flesh dropping off and you smell, well, frankly, like something that's been dead for a few years. Fuzz. I was only testing then, so I can use another save state. It was only a test. Oh, you fuzzed twas. Danger? Fuzz you! It's a raining snakes. Hallelujah, it's raining snakes. And say goodbye to your privates, Mr. 42. Oh, you no fuzzing way! Oh, fuzzity fuzz, get off. What the fuzz? Whoa. Hey, did he just touch her boob? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Did you two... Wait a minute, did he just give birth to another zombie? So if we put this into this hole, it rotates this way. That's what she said. Whoa! What did he say? I bought it from Amazon, Joe.
Oh man, I miss that guy. His Resident Evil playthroughs were so good. Absolutely amazing, you know, such a funny man with his catchphrases, and he was the fucking master of save state abuse. Absolutely, the amount of save states he would use. He's even on Urban Dictionary. Save state abuse, save state abuse, Necroscope 86. Right, everyone. This is a hyper zombie. Right. Oh, excuse me, sir. I don't want a hickey on my neck, thank you. I got one of them this morning. Right, I was just testing there. That the hyper zombie is much faster than a normal zombie. Oh, you little sausage. I was just testing again there that the hyper zombie is much faster and deadlier than the normal zombie. Right, let's get through this corridor. Right. I was just testing again there. Right. No. I was just testing. Will you sit down, Mother Hubbard? Oh, he was so funny. His catchphrase were amazing. Absolutely amazing. Sit down, Mother Hubbard, or you absolute funk machine. Oh, he was brilliant. It's a shame that he had to leave YouTube because he was so funny. He was so, his playthroughs were so funny. The Resident Evil ones, legendary, absolutely. Especially the Resident Evil, especially Resident Evil 1 playthroughs he did, absolutely legendary. And they're still on YouTube. I think there's a guy that gets the playthroughs from the people that have saved the playthroughs over the years. So it's like it's an archive channel, and it's got all his playthroughs from Doom. He did Doom, Breath of Fire 3. He did a lot of retro games. Necroscope. He did a lot of retro games. But his Resident Evil ones are amazing. But I love him. I watch him religiously every Halloween, every October, because he just make me smile and chuckle to myself, like a madman. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, amazing playthroughs. Absolutely amazing. Nobody could do a Resident Evil playthrough better than him. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, and what's amazing as well, it took 6 years for this to have a remake, which is probably unheard of, really. Like, normally it takes about maybe 15 to 20 years to do a remake. This game got remade 6 years later, and it's probably, and in my opinion, probably the best remake you're gonna get. Like, if gamers or any gamer said to me, "Oh, Resident Evil remake's better than the original," I don't really would argue with them, really, because it is such a strong remake. I mean, they really added a lot more. They even added so much more atmosphere, which is amazing. Particularly when you're walking through a corridor and there's a window and you see the flash. You see the flash of lightning, absolutely amazing, and your shadow and the shadows of the zombies. Oh my god! I play the Resident Evil remake on my PS4 HD. I've streamed that. Fucking hell, scary as fuck. They really amped up the terror in that. With the Crimson Edge, you got to burn the zombies. Oh my god. I mean, this could be a subject for another video, comparing the remake to the original. But the remake is so good. It is so good. One of the best remakes of a game you're gonna get. Absolutely amazing it is. Really, really good. Really good. I mean, I have done a playthrough of this on my channel a couple of years ago. It's not that good, really. I mean, well, it's not good. It's just the camera, just awful camera recording of it. Yeah, I don't have the technology to simulate. I haven't got a game simulator. Wish I did. Could just simulate all the games then, and probably redo it. I think the director's cut is on. I think the director's cut is on the network, on the PS PlayStation 4 network, but I think you got a PlayStation Plus PlayStation Plus for it, which is bollocks. Because I wouldn't mind streaming Director's Cut. I mean, it's not much difference to Director's Cut, really. I think the only difference is you've got the original mode on it, and then you've got beginner, I think training, beginner, and advanced. So it's like different, like hard, medium, and easy, medium, hard mode on there. Different costumes. A lot of the items have been rearranged, and you've got the hyper zombie. But other than that, there's not much difference. And I think they released Director's Cut because I think Resident Evil 2 was delayed. I think so they put Director's Cut out. Like they put it out the year after Resident Evil. Oh no, yeah, of course. If you complete Director's Cut with Chris or Jill under 3 hours, you get unlimited Magnum, and I think under 2 hours you get unlimited rocket launcher, which I've done. But admittedly, I had to save state it. You save stated, you little sausage. I'm the bastard. I'm the master of save stated abuse round here, sunshine. But yeah, I did complete Director's Cut with Chris and Jill with fucking save states. Because to get the unlimited Python, the unlimited Colt Python and the unlimited rocket launcher, you can't save it, and there's no fucking way I could. I thought I couldn't do a no save run. What would fuck me up is the hunters. That they would fuck me up because I have tried a no save run. The first part of the game with the zombies, a lot of the zombies, I mean it's up to the player, but I think a lot of the zombies you can dodge, but in a few areas you can't dodge them. But there are a few areas where you can dodge them, particularly on the save room on. I gotta think now. Is it the west side or the east side? I'm trying to remember now. Because there's a save room. I gotta think now. There's a save room not far away from the painting room, and then there's a save room not far away from where you kill the plants, when you kill that plant creature with the I says fertilizer. You know, you put the fertilizer in the water. There's a save room by there. And there's zombies by there you can dodge. They're pretty easy to dodge. But yeah, you can't. But with the hunters, once you go back to the mansion, and the soundtrack, like really goes down. It really changes in pitch. It goes fucking higher. The pitch, you know, and you think, shit's about to go down now. When you hear the first floor mansion revisited, then you know shit. Then you know shit's gonna pick up with those fucking hunters. Fucking hell. Yeah, I like I said, I have tried a no save run. Fucking hell, the hunters. One hit with the claw. You're fucked. You're fucked. You're fucked. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. You know, you're fucked. So I have tried a no save run, but it's fucking hard. It's not impossible. And and there's those fucking things in the lab on the ceiling. They will fuck up your no save run. Let me tell you, they'll really fuck your shit up. Fucking hell. Oh yeah, and the ending with the trigger system. I think that's very reminiscent. That's quite reminiscent of Aliens with the countdown. That's one of the greatest adrenaline pumping scenes of all time. Ripley, when she first fights the Queen, and she's got to escape in the ship. Oh my God, I saw such an amazing scene. The sound, just everything about that scene. The soundtrack really amps up the intensity. Oh my God, so brilliant. And it wouldn't be a Resident Evil if it didn't have a triggering system. The triggering system has now been activated. All unsubscribers will be destroyed immediately. All employees proceed to the bottom platform. Yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing. See, I don't think I could add much more, really. I talked about soundtrack. Who do I like playing? I think I'll end with that. Who do I like playing as the most? I mean, I have completed it with Chris, but I tend to get more enjoyment out of Jill's scenario because I love Barry Burton so much. He's such a fucking legend. You know, you can see why a lot of memes have been made out of Barry Burton, because he just talks such fucking shit. I mean, how long does it take to investigate a body? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Just investigates bodies all the time. What? What is this? What is it? Cranberry sauce. Jill, see if you can find any clever clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this isn't Chris's cranberry sauce. Whoa, this hall is dangerous. No, Barry, it's the safest part of the mansion. You silly man. Unbelievable. He's like, just a moment. I found something. What is it? It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. But Barry, it's an undead fucking mansion. You silly man. How can it be powerful against living things when there's no living thing in you? It's a fucking undead mansion. And the other classic line, you, the master of unlocking, take it with you. Unbelievable. Well, that's why we love him. That's why we love him, because he's a fucking legend. And that's probably why I play Jill the most, because I find Barry a better sidekick than Rebecca. I don't know. It's just the game is a lot easier with Jill. But at the same time, though, I do wish it was a bit more difficult with Jill, because if you read her backstory, her background. Now, I'm trying to remember now the podcast. Oh, what was the name of the podcast? There's a podcast. Oh, I think it's called Resident Evil 4 Lore, and they analyse every Resident Evil game and characters and weapons. And the Resident Evil 1 they did, and they talk about Jill's background before she joined Stars. Like, apparently she won competitions in shooting, a bit like the scene in Magnum Force, the Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry film, where Clint Eastwood faces David Soul. She was like a master marksman. So in many ways, she was more of a badass than fucking Chris, really. But as a kid, though, I think as a kid, you want games to be easy, because as a kid you haven't got the maturity to deal with difficult challenges in games. But as you get older, you do want more. You do want a bit more challenge in your games. So I do wish Jill's scenario was a bit more difficult. But I think in the remake, I think the gameplay, the difficulty gameplay is a bit more balanced. I think so anyway. So yeah, I don't think I can add any more to that, to be honest. I think its legacy. I think Resident Evil's legacy is etched in stone forever. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, the most influential horror game of all time. You know, and spawned a franchise. You know, I do love Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is my favourite. I'm not gonna lie. You know, and this Code Veronica. I'm not a big fan of Resident Evil 3, 4, or 5. 5.
Don't talk to me about 5. Ugh. Don't talk to me about Resident Evil 5. Don't talk to me about Resident 5, Joe. Chris got steroids and can punch boulders. Whoa.
But yeah, a very, very influential game. You know, most influential horror game ever of all time. You know, I will continue to play this and enjoy this for the next 25 plus years. That's if I'm still fucking here. Well, I always said, mind. I always say when I go, I'll be 90 playing Doom in the Kia room. That's how I'm gonna fucking go. That's how I plan to do. I'm gonna have a heart attack at 90. I can't have a heart attack till then. I got a heart attack at 90 and then die playing Doom. So yeah. Thanks for watching. And then oh god, I fucking rambled on enough. So the next Retro Ramble is going to be a TV program. Yeah, I'm going to try and have a balance. You know, balance of covering video games, TV programs, cartoons, music, albums, and yeah. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next Retro Ramble. Take it easy, guys, gals, and pals. Whoa. Ha ha ha!